It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate tracker on WION World is One.
Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. To some, it's an extreme ideology. To others, it's the very soul of India. To some, it's rebellion. To others, it's a principle of nation building. Coming soon to challenge perceptions in RSS centenary year, Kesariya at 100.
WION, India's global voice. The channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION. World is One.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Race to Power. My name is Mohammed Saleh. And on the show today, the American President Donald Trump has made a remarkable 180-degree turn on the issue of releasing the complete Epstein files. He now says he'll sign the Release Epstein Files bill if it is approved by the Congress and is sent to his table. But the question, of course, is this. What has now prompted the American president to change his mind on one of the biggest political scandals in America's history? And in India, the rout that was suffered by the Mahagathbandhan in Bihar has sent a few tremors into neighbouring state of Jharkhand as well, where the JMM has now mooted the possibility of a review of its alliance with the Congress and the RJD. But let's, of course, start with this big story that's come in from the United States of America. When a couple of hours from now, the US House of Representatives is expected to vote on a bill that will compel the Justice Department to release all records pertaining to the Epstein files. And ahead of the vote, this is what is interesting. The American President, Donald Trump, has reversed course. He's now saying that he'll sign the bill to release the Epstein files if the Congress approves it and then sends it to his desk. From the Oval Office, Trump told reporters that he's all for it and has said that the administration will in fact turn over everything. Now, Trump also said that he does not want the issue to take away from what he calls the Republican Party's achievements. The shift follows similar remarks that he made on Sunday night, a notable change after previously having pushed back on the proposal, even as more Republicans have lined up behind it.
All I want is I want for people to recognize a great job that I've done on pricing, on affordability, because we brought prices way down, but they're going way lower, on energy, on ending 8 wars and another one coming pretty soon, I believe. We've done a great job. And I hate to see that deflect from the great job we've done. So I'm all for it. You know, we've already given 50,000 pages.
The survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's sexual abuse have released a video clip in coordination with a coalition that is dedicated to ending sexual exploitation, and they're calling on the Congress to approve the release of the Epstein files. The lawmakers recently made public a trove of emails from Epstein's estate. In one, Epstein claimed that Donald Trump had spent several hours with one of his victims at Donald Trump's residence. In another, he had referred to the president as dirty. Now, Larry Summers, the former president of Harvard University, who once served as the U.S. Treasury Secretary, has now issued a statement saying that he will step back from public commitments after the release of the emails, showing that he had maintained a friendly relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. All right, so there is a live press conference that is being held with relation to the Epstein files. Let's listen in.
And they are exactly that. They are a beautiful mosaic of energy and passion and love and life. I am one story of 1,000. You think of that number, 1,000. I spoke of how big our hopes and dreams once were, and I talked about how they were completely shattered at the hands of Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. Now, I look at this amazing community behind me. They are survivor sisters. We are together. We stand together in this. And I realize that we are a representation of women across America. We come from different backgrounds. We have different religions. We are different races, different creeds, different ethnicities. We have different political affiliations. Some of us don't want to be political at all. And yet we stand here together for this cause. We're united in the call for transparency, complete transparency, to find justice. Justice for our younger selves. These pictures that you see, they're real people. I wish I could go back and give my former self a hug and say, this matters and it's going to change, and mean it. We are standing here for justice for the youth of tomorrow, and justice for those who are no longer with us, like the beautiful, brave Virginia Giuffre. We understand that the road is long, but I implore you to stay the course, please. Living in an age where you can get news in 10-second clips on your phone, I know that this is a big task for us, but it's a very personal one for survivors. It's a very personal one for us as a country. So I'd like to ask you to try something right now. I'd like everybody to close their eyes or soften their gaze just for a moment. And I want everybody to think of a child that is close to them between the ages of 14 and 18 years old. It could be your daughter, it could be your niece, it could be a friend's kids, it could be you at a former age, it could be your mother at that age. But really envision that for a second, 14 to 18 years old. Once you think of that person, I want you to think about what they feel like. What is their energy? What do they smell like? What sound do they make when they laugh? Really think about that child just for a moment. Now I want you to picture a pair of giant looming wooden doors and an overbearing marble landing. Those are the doors to Jeffrey Epstein's house. Do you allow that child to enter or not? If the answer is yes, you would allow entrance. You stand with predators. If the answer is no, then congratulations, you're on the right side of justice. Now you have homework. I am calling for the American people. You have homework. Call your Congress.
All right, so that, of course, is a press briefing by some of the women who've come out and said that they were sexually trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein. Tell us more about this case and how things are headed in the United States of America. We're joined this broadcast by my colleague Susan Tehrani, who's joining us with more updates. Susan, this was, of course, a very big issue for Donald Trump, even during the days of his campaigning. And once he became president, he did release a part of the Epstein files, but that was a redacted one, which did not have the details of the names of the clients. Now, Pam Bondi had gone in a very famous interview. She had said that the client list of Jeffrey Epstein was on her table, but then that was not released. So are we now looking at the Epstein files that could be released in their entirety, including the client list? What is happening there, and what exactly is Donald Trump saying about this? Will the client list of Jeffrey Epstein now come out?
So that's a question that we as reporters and correspondents and the American public and around the world, really, it's a big question mark about how the Trump administration has been handling this. The president is adamant, saying that he has nothing to hide. For a period during this second term of his, he just was against releasing more documents, and then he went back to his previous position, and now he wants everything to be released. There's questions right now whether or not even a quote client list really exists or not. But what is clear is that the House is going to vote later today, and possibly unanimously, according to representatives, to get every shred of document out for the public to see. All of those emails, all of those documents, whether there is a client list or not. They're voting that let everything come out and let the American public decide and let the chips fall where they may. That's going to happen. Then it's going to go to the Senate. And President Trump last night said that he's completely for signing it and giving it to the Justice Department. How long this is going to take? Many believe that it's not going to take that long because there is a bipartisan support behind this. It's not just the Democrats, also Republicans are really tired of what has been going on with these files. So let's see what comes out. Let's see, how the House seems like it's a home run. Let's see how the Senate is going to vote and how early it's going to appear on Donald Trump's desk. And then the Pam Bondi Justice Department, she really has to put her ducks in a row and abide by this time.
And she also has to explain that she said she has the client list on her table, and we now need to see as to what will be released.
Yeah.
Will there be more
redacted
versions or not? We'll have to wait and watch. Thank you very much indeed, Susan Tehrani, for joining us with all those updates. They will, of course, come back to you as this case continues to unfold in the United States. All right, now in a few hours from now, the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman will be meeting with the American President Donald Trump at the White House. And this will be the first visit of the Saudi leader to the United States since the 2018 murder of the Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi, which to a certain extent it strained the US-Saudi ties. Now, the high-stakes meeting between the two leaders will set the stage for the unveiling of the multi-billion-dollar business deals between the two nations. Now, both leaders are expected to take off from Trump's last visit to Saudi Arabia, where he had discussed potential investment opportunities and had also secured a $600 billion investment pledge from Saudi Arabia. Now, the American president has made a priority of boosting ties with the oil-rich Gulf nation and has said that he will sell the coveted F-35 stealth fighter jets to Saudi Arabia. Now, this despite the objections from the State of Israel amidst the rising tensions in West Asia. According to reports, these stealth fighters are currently only operated by Israel in the region.
Yeah, no, I am planning on doing that. They want to buy. They've been a great ally. They've got to like us very much. Look at the Iran situation, what we did in terms of obliterating, we obliterated their nuclear capability. Yeah, I will say that we will be doing that. We'll be selling F-35s. Yeah.
And according to sources, the United States will also sign the framework of a civil nuclear cooperation agreement with Saudi Arabia, known as the 123 Agreement. The deal will allow U.S. companies to sell nuclear reactors, technology, and also limited uranium enrichment capabilities to Saudi Arabia under some strict U.S. monitoring, in line with the IAEA safeguards. Now, the agreement will also mark a significant step in Saudi Arabia's efforts to diversify its energy sector. Now, Trump is likely to push Prince Mohammed bin Salman to normalize relations with the State of Israel. Now, Trump could also try to convince Saudi Arabia to join the Abraham Accords, as he's seeking a wider West Asia peace deal after the war in the Gaza Strip. The first Trump administration and its successor, the Biden administration, had tried to persuade Saudi Arabia to join the Abraham Accords. However, those efforts were pushed back first by the opposition from the Crown Prince's father, King Salman, during Trump's first term, and then by Prince Mohammed himself after Hamas's attacks on the 7th of October in 2023 against Israel that sparked the Gaza war. Now, Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer has vowed to lead his Labour Party into the next election. Now, this is despite the new poll suggesting that nearly half of the Labour voters now want him out. The statement comes even as Keir Starmer's ratings continue to plummet since entering into 10 Downing Street, with over 40% of the Britons who were surveyed by the Times saying that Rishi Sunak apparently was a better Prime Minister than Keir Starmer. Now, Keir Starmer's dwindling popularity comes against the backdrop of reports that suggest that there are growing concerns amongst the Labour MPs that Keir Starmer is becoming a liability, with talk of a possible leadership challenge after the local elections in the month of May. A recent YouGov survey of 2,100 people shows that 23% of the people said that Keir Starmer should quit, while another 22% want him to step down before the next elections, and only about 34% believe that he should lead Labour into the contest. A separate survey by More in Common has put Reform UK at about 31%, Labour at 20%, the Conservatives at 19%, the Lib Dems at 14% and the Green Party at about 12%. A senior member of the UK government has denied that he's plotting to oust Keir Starmer amidst the dire poll ratings of the Labour Party, less than 18 months after a landslide election victory. The UK's Health Secretary Wes Streeting has said that talk of a leadership challenge coming from the Labour officials and the lawmakers is actually self-defeating and self-destructive.
I'm not going in to demand the Prime Minister's resignation. I support the Prime Minister. I have done since he was elected leader of the Labour Party. I didn't vote for him in the leadership election, but I did support him from the moment he was elected. And I supported him all the way through at points when he did things that no one thought was possible. They didn't think he could turn around the Labour Party. He did. They didn't think he could win a general election. He did. People are now questioning whether he can change the country. He will.
Meanwhile, a new YouGov political favourability survey shows that 30% of the people view Nigel Farage favourably and 63% unfavourably. The Lib Dem leader Ed Davey recorded a net rating of -4. 29% see him as favourable, while 33% find him to be unfavourable. The former Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn is backed by 25% of those who were surveyed, while 63% hold an unfavourable opinion about him. For the Conservative figure, Kemi Badenoch, 21% hold favourable views, while 54% see her to be negatively inclined, and Prime Minister Keir Starmer scores the lowest in the major names, with only 21% of the people holding a favourable opinion of him, compared to 72% who have an unfavourable opinion of him after he had been voted as the Prime Minister. Now, India's Bharatiya Janata Party and also their National Democratic Alliance has just won a massive victory in the state of Bihar. And while celebrating the feat, the Indian Prime Minister signalled that his party's next target is going to be the state of West Bengal. Now, Bengal goes to polls next year and the BJP seems to be getting up for the battle. However, before the Bihar domino effect has a chance of reaching Bengal, another state in the vicinity has already started to wobble, and this is the state of Jharkhand. Now, Vinod Pandey, the General Secretary of Jharkhand's ruling party, the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, has said that there will be a review of the JMM's alliance with the Congress and the RJD. The JMM was part of the opposition's grand alliance in Bihar until right before the polls, but the party pulled out at the 11th hour because it was denied seats in Bihar. Now, neither the RJD nor the Congress made space for the JMM in Bihar, leading to bad blood between the parties. So, following the results in Bihar and the Grand Alliance's drubbing, the JMM says that it will review its options. Now, the Alliance's electoral debacle might convince the JMM to cut its allies loose. It has 34 seats in the Jharkhand Assembly, making it the largest party. So, Chief Minister Hemant Soren could still potentially remain in power if he chooses to side with the Bharatiya Janata Party instead. The BJP has already left its mark across much of the rest of eastern India. Jharkhand, Mizoram, Manipur and West Bengal are the only states that it does not govern in the east. And Manipur is under president's rule, but it was led by the BJP before that. So if Jharkhand switches over, just leaves Mizoram and Bengal. And remember, Bengal is the BJP's stated next target.
गंगा जी यहाँ बिहार से बहते हुए ही बंगाल तक पहुंचती है। बिहार ने बंगाल में भाजपा की विजय का रास्ता भी बना दिया है।
But the BJP might not have it easy in West Bengal next year. Unlike Hemant Soren, Bengal's Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is in fact governing with a majority. An uneasy calm prevails across cities in Bangladesh amidst calls for a nationwide shutdown by Sheikh Hasina's Awami League. The streets in Dhaka have remained calm. There's been no major incidents of violence that have been reported so far. Transportation in the capital and elsewhere are said to be normal, and shops and schools remain open. The shutdown calls follow a landmark ruling by the International Crimes Tribunal in Dhaka, which has convicted Sheikh Hasina of crimes against humanity. Now, Hasina and her former Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan, currently in exile in India, were sentenced to death in absentia. The charges are linked to the deadly crackdown involving lethal force during the July-August 2024 uprising, which marked the end of Hasina's 15-year tenure. And according to a United Nations report from February, the death toll is estimated to have gone up to 1,400. Now, calling the verdict biased and politically motivated, Sheikh Hasina has said that the charges were unjustified, arguing that she and Asaduzzaman Khan had acted in good faith and were trying to minimize the loss of life.
The verdict announced by the court today has been rejected by the people of Bangladesh. We do not accept this verdict. We are holding a nationwide shutdown to protest against the verdict. We want to state clearly that our movement will continue and become even more intense until the Yunus government steps down.
Now, India's Ministry of External Affairs has issued a statement claiming that it has noted the verdict that was announced by the International Crimes Tribunal of Bangladesh. It stated that as a close neighbor, India remains committed to the best interests of the people of Bangladesh. India has also said that it will always engage constructively with all stakeholders to that end. And Bangladesh's chief advisor, Mohammad Yunus, has welcomed the verdict. He has said that it upholds a key principle that no one, no matter how powerful, is above the law. And let's also listen to as to how the ordinary people of Bangladesh are reacting to this verdict.
The verdict that came out yesterday, whether I see it one way or another, is not a completely satisfactory verdict. When a prime minister runs a country, 15 of their actions may be good and 5 may be wrong, and some actions of their ministers or MPs may also be wrong, but giving a death sentence for that is not justified.
Based on the oppression she inflicted on the people of the country and the attacks carried out on people before August 5th, the verdict has been given. We, the people of the country, are satisfied with it.
Those who ruled the country before shaped the law in their own way, and those who are ruling now are also shaping the law in their own way, meaning there is no real rule of law here. Whoever comes to power adjusts the laws to suit themselves.
The interim government under Yunus also has huge challenges, especially when the human rights groups like Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International have already raised questions about the fairness of the trial process. So this is a challenge for Yunus to convince the international community that the trial process was credible and acceptable. And another challenge for Yunus is to improve the law and order situation of the country. Because if people are not convinced that this government can ensure a peaceful election, it will be really difficult for the government to bring the voters to the voting stations in February.
The thousands marched through Athens to commemorate the 1973 student uprising that helped topple the Greek military dictatorship that was backed by the United States. And according to the police, at least about 15,000 people marched to the US embassy, with many chanting the Greek national anthem. Some even carried Palestinian flags in solidarity. We'll leave you with these images. Thanks for watching.
52 years later, with everything happening in education under Mitsotakis' government, the student expulsions, the privatization of universities, the extreme authoritarianism that is visible everywhere, even today in the march with such a heavy police presence, with the soaring cost of living, and with the fact that next to us in Palestine, an entire people is being killed, it is clear that it still matters that we keep fighting.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening, as we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. To some, it's an extreme ideology. To others, it's the very soul of India. To some, it's rebellion. To others, it's a principle of nation building, coming soon to challenge perceptions in RSS centenary year, Kesariya at 100.
The stress of our world can take a toll on our physical and emotional health. Here, in New York's Catskill Mountains, lies a luxurious place of healing called WION Wellness Center. The WION Wellness Center provides 500,000 square feet of natural methods to manage diabetes, hypertension, chronic pain, obesity, depression, anxiety, and other conditions. We use the traditions of centuries-old natural science from India, yoga, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and naturopathy in personalized programs that help you take charge of your own health. A minimum 5-day stay is recommended for best results. Book now at yowon.com.
Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. To some, it's an extreme ideology. To others, it's the very soul of India. To some, it's rebellion. To others, it's a principle of nation building, coming soon to challenge perceptions in RSS centenary year, Kesariya at 100.
WION, India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide, because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION. World is one.
The Earth is sending distress signals. Wildfires, droughts, and melting glaciers. Can we reverse the damage? Explore the harrowing effects of climate change. It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate Tracker on WION World is One.
Where darkness hides behind every corner. Where the truth is stranger than fiction. A show that dives deep into the stories which shock and mystify. Unsolved murders. Psychopaths who defy explanation. International war crimes. And millions swindled in financial fraud. The victims, the accused, and the sinister plot. Crime is your front row seat to darkness.